Welcome, welcome. Hey there, Todd. Diane, good to see you.
How are you doing?
Amazing, wonderful, and terrific. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to talk to you guys about December and 2016. We are starting everything new with unlimited profits and life mechanics. We got our life mechanic event coming up in January 8th. For those of you who are promoting the event, just so you know, you get a $200 bonus for everybody that goes to the event if they pay full price. So I just wanted you guys to know, if you don't have the link, make sure you go on my page or on the Facebook page and share it out with your ID, and then you're going to get $200. We're going full speed ahead. 2016 is going to be a great year. We have a lot of interesting things happening in the industry and in the profession that is going to make it it's an opportunity of a lifetime for you guys. When you're at the right place at the right time and you have the right tools, there's no reason to make as much money as you want to make. So I want to help you guys brand yourselves. This is the year of personal branding. You know, there's a lot of people out there on the web who have figured out YouTube. They figured it out many, many years ago. And just with a couple videos, they end up having huge following. I didn't actually get a list of them to show you, but I'm just going to give you a couple names. Just I don't know how much what you guys follow and what you don't follow as far as the YouTube channels, but Gary Vaynerchuk, he was one of those guys from Edison, New Jersey, who built his personal brand, and he did it from working in his basement of his dad's wine shop. He couldn't even be up on the top floor selling wine for years because he was working there as a kid, and he learned social media and learned this thing called personal branding, and he turned his mom and pop's wine business into a $40 million operation. It was just crazy, millions of dollars per year in wine sales. The guy was so dynamic. He was on video number 68 or 69, I think, was when I started watching the guy. And I wasn't a wine guy, nor was I a football fan, and that's what he talked about. He was actually promoting on a regular basis this whole concept of football and wine and, you know, learning the wine business. And he was really, really good at this promotion thing, and he was doing a daily video. And I watched him for the longest time. I learned a lot about wine, even though I wasn't a wine drinker, but it was just his energy and his uniqueness of his personality, and just, you know, his personality connected with mine because he lived in the same town that I lived in, and, you know, there was just something about that was pretty cool. So, you know, he started attracting me to the point where I started watching everything that he did, and I watched when he left the wine business and he moved over to the marketing business, and I bought his books, and I became a fan. And I want to teach you guys what we've learned about getting fans. You know, 2016, we've actually seen a tremendous change, and I probably don't have, it would probably take me an hour or two to talk to you about the industry changes and what we understand about industry changes. Just so you know, that's really where my head is at for the longest time. You know, 5 to 6 years before Google, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this story before, 5 or 6 years before Google ever came into the field, they were just a little, they just started out competing against Yahoo as a search engine. 5 years before they ever came out with Google Docs, I invented something called Swarm Docs. I actually have the proposal still in my folder here. There was this thing called Swarm Docs, and it is today Google Docs. You know, I was able to see the future of the internet and collaboration online and being able to do online documentation and all these things. And we had $1 million contract to build this thing 5 years before Google ever got their hands on it. And because of the internet bubble burst, it went away. The same way with Facebook. When MySpace was the largest face profile thing on the web, I wrote a business proposal, and I proposed a program 5 to 6 years before Facebook came out. And I proposed Facebook for the internet. We never got an engagement, but a couple years later, these young kids took off and did it. So if you pay attention, you can actually see what's happening in the industry. And right now, there's a lot of dramatic changes happening in the industry. What's happened is there's been a lot of people who have figured out that daily videos and finding a following enables you to get sponsorship. It enables you to get you can sell just about anything you want once you develop this sponsor, and they've actually started to turn, the individual has turned social media into monetization. Now, what's really nice about it is most of the world hasn't figured it out. There's just been a few people. It's a really small remnant of people who are figuring it out. And it doesn't take a dynamic personality. If you'll see the types of people that I'm talking to, there's a guy who's in the gun world, and his name is Iraqi Veteran 8888, and he does a daily gun video, and it's able to get him sponsorships from all the gun industry, and he owns a pawn shop and he sells guns, and the guy's got, I don't know, he's probably got 1 million followers on his website. The other guy that I watch is a guy named Hickok45. If you ever watch Dirty Harry, if you ever watch Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry, he's actually the guy in the movie that the movie was made out of. He was Dirty Harry, and he does something similar. He does a daily gun review, and now he's being sponsored by one of the largest gun selling sites on the web, and he's a real hobbyist gun a guy that shoots for sport in his backyard, that kind of stuff. But he has tremendous following, and he's finally, after all these years of getting a following, he's monetized it and turned it into a business. And there's a lot of people out there that are doing it. And what's really cool about it is once you find what your voice is, once you start finding your story and you start telling it, it really doesn't matter what it is. There's enough people. If you just watch sitcoms, for example, you can see there's enough people watching some pretty dumb stuff. I mean, they really don't, they seem like they don't have anything else to do. And so, there's people that they follow their kids around in the van. You got soccer moms that are just talking about their day and their, what they're buying and what deals are getting. And they get hundreds of thousands of people following them. And then they sell, oh, by the way, I use this makeup or I use this nail polish, and they send them over to Amazon. And they're making thousands of dollars selling nothing, just talking about their day. So there's this huge opportunity where the individual gets to become the movie star, the individual gets to become the brand, you get to start telling a story, and it's really unlimited. Like I said, I could spend 2 hours talking to you about the nuances of that business. And we see Tom. How you doing, Norway? What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He actually figured it out. He was one of those people that was insightful, and he saw where we were going, and he actually jumped in ahead of us. He's actually now doing what we're going to be teaching and promoting for 2016, is how do you take the media that's out there and brand yourself in a way so that whenever you say, hey, buy this, people buy this. How do you do that? How do you get to a point? And we actually paid a lot of money. I mean, you would be embarrassed if you knew how much money we spent to get behind the scenes and talk to the people who are making millions of dollars in this profession. Hey, guys, how you doing? Good to see you. It's pretty crazy how much money we've spent to actually ask the secret sauce questions to the guys who are making millions of dollars. The Eric Worre's and the Ray Hignans and they're selling their program on a regular basis. But to actually get and talk to them one-on-one and say, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? What's the magic sauce? Why did it take you 4 years to get to a place of income? What would it take for the average guy to get up to speed faster? Because most guys don't have 4 years. I mean, nobody on this phone call has 4 years of every single day video before you start making an income. You're going to have to do it faster than a 4-year program. So we spent a lot of time. We actually got into the blogging business 2 years ago, a little bit ahead of the curve, and we shut that thing down. If you guys remember Success in Minutes, we actually gave everybody a blog for a while, but we didn't have the magic sauce. We knew that blogging was important for the individual, but we didn't have a couple things, and so that we're going to be introducing that this starting in 2016. We're going to be introducing the magic sauce stuff. One of the things that we found is you can go to some of these professionals who are making some really good money and have figured out how to do it for themselves, and they'll charge you a lot of money for the training, but then you're on your own when it comes to the technology. Figuring out, well, how do I actually get a lead list? How do I get an email solution? What kind of matricle letters do I need to have? How often do I have an offer? Where do I get my products? Do I make my own products? Am I selling somebody else's? There's a lot of stuff that if you don't know, could be overwhelming. And so that's going to be December. That's going to be the offer that I'm going to be making to you guys, is help you guys start that process, because January 1st, from December 27th until January 18th, it is the prime moment. There's like this window. There's this peak window on the entire planet where people are focused on the New Year's resolution. They're like that through the year, but they're never like that as much as January 1st. And from January 1st to January 18th is the peak moments when individuals are focused on achieving or not achieving their primary goals. And so we want to help you guys take advantage of that. How do you take and jumpstart your 2016, take advantage of this opportunity that people are for sometimes that's the only 18 days they ever do it. They only can buy a gym membership and then start hanging their clothes on the treadmill again. It's a place to hang their clothes. And so it's normally about 18 days of primary focus. So if you guys are ready for that, if you have your fan page set up, if you have your voice ready to go, if you have your products ready to go, you can actually jumpstart your business and you can be in place. Now, you're not going to be making full-time money in 18 days. I'm not making any of that. That's kind of crazy. But you can at least jumpstart and get yourself in a place when the rest of the world is starting to look at these things that you're ready and you're starting to get a little, scrape a little bit off the surface. So before I talk a little bit more about that, I want to get you guys caught up with what I've done with Jackson. Hey, Jackson, good to see you, buddy. Good to have you guys online.
Thanks,
Glad to
Bill.
see all the work you guys are doing.
We're getting a lot of periscopes.
Yes, I see that. You guys are doing exactly what I asked you to do, which is why I took you on as a mentor, because I knew you would. What I talked to Jackson about was a couple things. Since the last update for him, we got his Facebook profile going. Facebook recognized he was only 11. There's a 13-year-old policy, kicked him off. We got him back on. He now has hashtag this kid. Amazing. His mom came up with that. It's brilliant. We can't even talk about the smartness of that. But it'd be really good. One of the things that we're going to talk about is the power of hashtags. I didn't even know. I didn't know the power of hashtags. Using it in your posts, I just figured it out a week ago. I'm doing all this stuff without hashtags. But we're going to talk about some of that in one of our future trainings. I can get 10 times as much traffic using the right hashtags but I'm not going to get into that training. So what we talked to him about was branding. And Jackson, what's amazing is Jackson's starting to get a following. And he's 11 years old, and he's still a little nervous. If you saw his first one, I think there were only 3 of us on his first call, and you could tell he was nervous and he was a little stuttering. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was actually perfect because it was about him. It was about him trying. It was about making an effort. And when people saw it, they were like, they just wanted to support him. They were like, way to go, attaboy, all that stuff. No matter where you are, people want to watch the process. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be Mr. Superstar with all the accolades and the applause. They like seeing average people making an effort. So wherever you are is good enough. So I want to encourage you guys to do what I told Jackson to do. Get a fan page, which is better than a Facebook page. Take a fan page. You can look at fan page. You can go to billebert.com and look in the upper right-hand corner and click on my fan page. You can see what it is to build an actual fan page and make yourself your own celebrity. Start celebrating yourself and your process. So if you don't have one yet, go ahead and get a fan page started. That's even more important and first before you start blogging. Get yourself your Facebook profile set up correctly so it looks like a business one. Go ahead and get your fan page going. One of the things that I want to encourage you guys have probably heard me say this before. If you're politically minded or if you have a religious bent, you should probably have more than one Facebook profile, or you have your circle of friends that listen to your rantings on one, and then you have your business where you're talking to the world about business. If you can't stay quiet about that stuff, it's fine. I understand because I got one myself. I understand if you have a bend in one arena or more, that when it gets to your rantings and the things that you want to say, make sure you have a crowd that is not business minded, and you're actually going to have a separate website for that. That's why it's really good to have a fan page where you're strictly business. You can talk about personal stuff, but don't talk about controversial stuff. It's really not the place for it. Once you get a big enough fan base, people will appreciate your controversial stuff, but don't start off that way. All right, so fan page is number one. Got to have a Gmail account. I think everybody on this call for sure has one. That's how we're staying connected. Got to have a Gmail account, and you got to have a YouTube account. This is what I really encourage you guys to do. 1 to 2 minutes every single day, even if you don't show anybody. It's like singing in the mirror. It's like dancing in the shower. Nobody else has to watch. Get a YouTube account and make a video every day. Even if you don't publish it, even if you keep it private, start telling a story. You'll be surprised that it will take no time at all. It was so hard for me to do that. That was actually one of the hardest things I've ever done in business, is to talk straight to a camera and there was no audience. When, public speaking was easier than speaking in front of a camera because I had no audience. It was like I was talking to my computer. It was really hard. But I started doing it every single day. And if you look at my early ones, I actually wasn't even on the camera. I would do a voiceover and I would do video slideshow. Almost the first 200 videos were strictly slideshows, and I never showed my face because I didn't know what to do with my hands. You know, I'm always waving my hands, that whole Italian thing. I'm always waving my hands, and my head bobbles around, and I just felt really stupid in front of a camera. So I started just getting more and more comfortable doing it. So I want to encourage you guys to not think of yourself compared to the Eric Worreys of the world or the Ray Hignans of the world. Instead, compare yourself to the brands of the people who are pointing, who are telling their personal story, who are on a journey. You know, the 11-year-olds, the 15-year-olds, the 22-year-olds who are just starting in this business, and start telling a story. It's okay that you're not perfect at it. You just want to start getting a system of having your voice promote something else. Even if in the beginning you do what I call the Oprah Winfrey story, all you do is say, hey, I read this chapter by Tony Robbins, and this is what I got out of it. Or, hey, I read this on Robert Hollis's blog, and this is what I think about it. And then each time you're just promoting someone smart. Some of the people that I admire most and I appreciate most on stage are the people who are quoting other people more than themselves. The people who are so smart that they're quoting smart people. You actually get the benefit of all of their brilliance by quoting them as you're talking. So it doesn't take that long. I mean, you don't have to read as much as I do. Those of you who know me know I'm like a ravenous monster when it comes to reading. You don't have to read a book a day. You can actually just read an article a day, or you can just listen to an audio once a day. There's enough stuff in your back office in Life Mechanics. You just watch one video, take a couple notes, and then spend 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes long. 2 minutes of regurgitating something that you just learned and post it on YouTube. And what happens is you're going to find people want to hear from you. You actually start becoming part of their day. One of the most important things about that is the consistency of it. That if you start it and then you wait 3 days and you do another one, and then 5 days later you do another one like me, what you need to do is you need to do it every single day. 5 days a week, 2 minutes. What I've started to do is to do all of mine in 2 days, because I have to put a shirt on and a tie on and set up my board and set up my lights, and I'm just not going to do it every day. So I'll do 4 or 5 all at once and then cut them up and then post them. I'll set them up so that they actually get posted over a longer period of time, because I had to figure out what is it going to take for me to get consistent input into my blog and into my Facebook profiles, and then start working the system where they actually come back around again. And December, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to start branding yourself, how often should you do it, how long should your videos be, what should your story be, all that stuff is part of the December training for those of you who are going to participate. So that's what I was telling Jackson. Even if you just get a Periscope account and you start on Periscope, what's really interesting about it is we all have the same experience. My first Periscope, I had 4 people. And they were all people I knew, like my family members, my wife and Robert Hollis and a couple of people. I had 4 people on my first Periscope. And I sent it out. I have 23,000 followers on Twitter, but only 4 people showed up on Periscope. And so day 2, I figured, okay, day 2 is going to be great. I had 3 people on my Periscope. And then day 4, I had 4 people on my Periscope, and I'm thinking, man, this growth's not happening. I have the same thing that everyone else in the world has, even though I've got 5,000 people on Facebook, 23,000 on Instagram. I mean, I got people all over the place looking for my posts. I start something new. You have to start over, so don't feel bad about that. So, you're thinking, well, I'm putting all this blood, sweat, and tears into my first videos, and I know I see Tom nodding his head. He knows the early stage of blogging. You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears in, and you get 12 clicks, right? Yeah, I mean, you're giving away as if you're in front of an audience of 10,000 and 12 people liked your post. You're thinking, this is just not worth it. But it really is. The reason that there's so much room in this space is because most people are not going to pay that price. They're not going to pay the price of longevity, of continuing to plant the seed, and watch it grow. The moment you shut down, if you go on vacation in those early days, you take 30 days off, it start over. That's the price of this world. You have to be consistent. Eric Worre did 500. I remember his anniversary, his 500th video, and when he put out his call to his live event, he had 8,000 tickets sold to his live event. 8,000 tickets, and all he did was 1.5 years of a video a day. That's it. Just that one simple little thing. And Eric's a pretty good presenter, and he's very articulate, and he lives in a nice house, and he wears all nice clothes, and that might intimidate somebody. But I'm telling you, there are people who are way more average, who don't have much to say, who have 200 times the following that he has. It's not about professionalism. It's not about that thing. There are people, I watched somebody yesterday, I just subscribed to somebody's channel yesterday. They have 1.2 million followers, and it's a dad and his son, and they cut stuff up. That's all they do. They like take a soccer ball and they cut it open, they see what's inside. 1.2 million followers that watch dad and his son cut stuff in half. And so because they reached the 1 million mark, YouTube sends you this little silver play button. It's about yay big, and it's just a play button, and it's made out of silver. And so they get it in this big frame, and so what they do is they take it apart to cut it up. And they're going to cut it in half. And they had so many people watching them slice something in half. You would think, why would 1.2 million people watch you cut a watermelon in half? Why would they watch you cut a golf ball in half? And yet they were so consistent, telling the story, enjoying each other's friendship. There was just such an attraction to it that they can now sell anything. They have so many followers that they're probably making a full-time income just on the ad revenue on the site. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how to monetize. You don't have to get to 1 million followers. I want to show you how you can pass the average pastor. That's one of the mindsets that I want you to get. The average church in America has 183 people in it. 183 people. A guy sits around and studies and researches and does his little sermon preparation, however he does it, and he gets up there and he pours his life out for 183 people every Sunday morning. And his influence, he's giving his life to influence 183 people. And they come once a week, maybe twice if they're radical. They come twice a week to listen to him talk about something that they could read themselves. And he's giving his whole life to influence 183 people. Thousands of these guys are doing that. And that's just one of the arenas. I'm just using that because most of you are familiar. You've at least walked into a church once or twice. If the average pastor only has 183 people and he's given his life to influence 183 people, 10% of their income, the average pastor is only making about $30,000, $40,000 in income. You can take that same influence and help someone change their life, help bring your voice, bring your story, bring your influence into thousands of people's lives. If you look at it, I've done 180,000 people have come through my website in the last 12 months. 180,000 people, which makes me the largest church in America. 180,000 people have heard the gospel of Bill, and we've actually gone through to help people find freedom, to find success, to find. Is everybody going to get it? Absolutely not. But you can, with the same 183 people that are taking 10% of their income to benefit their own life, to help you to monetize themselves, to buy your affiliate programs, you can have way more than the average income. 183 people giving 10% of their income to help better themselves because you have influenced their life is almost just short of $100,000 a year income for you. Just imagine, that's only 183. Robert has 180,000 following him on Facebook. Once you start monetizing and you find just 200 people a month who are actually spending just a little bit of money, $40 a month, just spending a little bit of money to help themselves, to help their family, to help their kids, to help their marriage, you can start seeing just a little glimpse of what it could be like, what the possibility is for you to be able to influence other people, help change the planet, and monetize yourself, to start branding yourself. So because I don't have time to tell all the stories, we're actually going to have a lot of different avenues. We're going to help you guys write your own books. I don't know if you saw the stuff that we did with Robert Hollis on the webinar the other day. Some of you guys are diamonds, you saw that. How to write your own story, how to get your own book authored so that you can become a professional, so you can become an industry leader, so you can actually be recognized when you go to the web and say, well, I got a #1 book on Amazon. It's not that hard to do. We want you guys that are inclined to that to help you do that. For the bloggers, we want to help you guys do blogging. For the guys who just want to spend money on advertising and not have your face shown, we can show you how to do that. But it's more of the biggest change that's happening in 2016 is to move away from the small model. There's only like $57 billion being spent in the network marketing world in America. We want to move you away from that tiny little market, and we want to start moving you into keeping that market, but also moving over into the self-help and online learning market. And I'm going to share my screen with you and show you just a few numbers here. Let's see if that shows up okay. Can you guys see that all right? The state of digital education, 570 times the size of the advertising market, equal to 7 times the global mobile industry. $7 trillion being spent on online universities, online training, online tools. It is probably the fastest growing thing on the planet. What's interesting about it is they're expecting to see it double. Now, I don't think it's going to double in 2016. They're expecting it to double in 2016. What I'm expecting to have happen is it to come closer to triple, because we are seeing a huge disenfranchisement with traditional education, and that the bubble that's about to burst is American education system. They have most government agencies would consider a company, a network marketing company, that has the success rate of the average university a total Ponzi scheme. If you were to actually say, well, how much does it cost to join your program? $27,000 a year. What's the rate of success? And they show you the rate of success. What is the number of people who are actually be able to pay that money back in a short amount of time? And what's the total debt? When you actually looked at all those numbers for the average education, the average person leaves school with $52,000 worth of debt. 85% of them will never work in their field of study. Never. Their whole entire life. They spend $52,000 to never, ever work in their field of study. Most businesses, if you were looked at the same kind of stats, they would be considered a Ponzi scheme. It's actually illegal to promote something to that degree and have such little success, and to be enslaving in debt that number of people. I think the bubble's going to burst in 2016, that people are going to start running from it and start seeing the real story. We're now starting to see some media attention to this. So that's going to be one of the primary focuses. And yes, Tom, at the end of the event, I would love for you to say whatever you have to. So that's what I want to help you guys do. Instructions for this month. Let me see if I had any other notes. I had something else here I wanted to show you. One of the things that I'm hoping that you don't get is a feeling of inundated or fear or trepidation on the newness of you branding yourself, because that's the thing that we're really going to be telling. We're going to help you start telling the story. And it doesn't matter what comfort level you are. You know, my daughter started with saying she'll start the business, but she doesn't want to talk to anybody. We can work with that person. You do not have to be the deal. You don't have to be the voice. There's a way to take the same stuff that we're teaching and do it without your voice. It would be great if we had your voice, because there's not a person that I talk to on a monthly basis who wouldn't be great at what we're talking about. I mean, you guys, if you're scared, all you just need is a little bit of practice. You know, you're scared of jumping out of a plane until you do it 100 times, and then it just becomes normal. I don't know if it ever becomes normal for me, but you know what I'm saying. Get to a point where you're comfortable doing what's necessary for you to become successful. So one more. What time is it? Hey, I'm talking longer than normal this time. Let me share my screen one more time with you guys. I want to show you what we have for you for December. One of the things that I really wrestled with is whether I was going to do a December offering for mentoring and training. And if I did, it had to be something that was really worth it for you guys, because there's at least a week where you guys are going to be distracted, you know, taking care of family, traveling, whatever you're going to do. So this is what we're going to do. We got 3 different levels of involvement for the person who wants to be part of December training. First one is what we've been doing. $99, one personal coaching session, access to all the training that I'm going to be giving to everybody else. So you're going to get all the training. You're just not necessarily going to get some of the tools that we're going to be building. You're also going to get a free bonus download of the tools we have. It's worth at least $300 of one of either the live events or some of the other products, but you know, you're going to get a free bonus download for that. And then you're also going to have the full resale rights of the training when it's over, so that even if what's happened is most people, if you know it or not, if you're an affiliate pro, you actually get 50% commission on anything that you sell from your back office. If you're not an affiliate pro, or if your membership lapses and you sell something, you only get 20%. If you join this month, you get this product at a 50% rate, whether you would become a pro or not. So that's what that means. Your affiliate retail, full price, you get a 50% commission for selling the product. The next one is a developer program. This one is 3 coaching sessions the free bonus download, the affiliate resale. I want to help you build your blog in this to get ready for 2016. You don't necessarily have to be filling it out. I'll show you where to get your blog. I'll point you to some good places. Tom's got some really good resource for a blog to review your blog and to help you build and to review your fan page. I'm going to teach you guys how to start building a name for yourself and start working on a brand that works for you based on your personality, based on what you want to say and some of your future goals. For $299 for the month of December, we'll get you all the coaching necessary, oversight of your stuff. Me and Hannah and Rebecca and all the tech team will overview your blog page and make sure that you're doing it with all the secret sauce. Now this program, the stuff that you're going to be learning this month, I paid $10,000 for what I'm going to give you in the next 30 days. It cost me $10,000 for this secret sauce. This stuff we had. This is what your left hand does. This is what the right. This is how far the logos need to look like. This is where the banners go. This is how often you should do this. This is where this goes. Everything. You're going to learn everything that you need to. That same $10,000 program is what you're going to get for this month. So I'm going to help you by reviewing your blog and help you review your fan page. And then for those of you who have the income and you actually want the full-blown setup, for $2,000 you'll get 8 coaching sessions. We do your blog for you. I will build and host your blog, help you with your brand, help you with your logo, get your full blog. If you've seen my blog and you've seen Robert's blog, it's going to look like that. You're going to have content that you can automatically flow from our blogs. So you can have my stuff, you can have Robert's stuff, you can have Hannah's stuff. You can actually have blog content flow automatically to your blog even if you're not blogging. So I'm going to build you a complete blog system. You're going to have a fan page set up. We're going to actually help you with the logo design and all that stuff. We help you set it up, get it all working, get it all created. One of the most important technology tools is the email setup. How do you do an email account? Do you use Aweber? Do you use Sendy? How do you use it? How often should you send out an email? What do you need to do to make sure you don't get caught in the spam folders? All that stuff. Get you an email solution all set up, and then develop over those 8 coaching sessions a full personal strategy. What works for you? Because maybe you want to be an author. Maybe you want to brand a retail product. Maybe you want to. I do the blogging strategy. I have 5 different companies besides what I do. Some of them are just hobbies that I turned into monetary. For those of you that don't know, I make knives. One of the things that I do is I make knives. I sell every knife that I make. There are people in my profession who are way better than me, who've been doing it for 10 or 15 years, who can't sell knives. We're at the $200, $300 range for the knives. My knives are not as good as theirs, but I sell every one. These guys who do a much better quality product can't sell anything because they don't understand how to monetize. They don't know how to make this stuff work. And so we've been doing this for years. So you get the email set up, you get the full personal training, you get the strategy, you get all the bells and whistles. Now this program, the $2,000 one, we're going to be selling in 2016 for $10,000. It's going to be the training and the technology, and it's the cheapest on the market. There's nobody out there selling it. There's a guy who we bought it from for $10,000, and we didn't get the technology. All we got was 3 days worth of training. 3 days worth of training. Here's your blogging solution. Okay, now go figure it out. $10,000 for the training alone. For what we're going to be selling it for, you're going to get the training and you're going to get all the technology built for you. We're going to hold your hand and walk you through getting it all set up and started and going. So get in where you fit in. Doesn't really matter to me. Some of you might want to just start at the $99 level and start figuring it out, because the stuff that you're going to get at the low level is you're going to get all of the training. No matter which level you go in, you're actually going to get 100% of the training. You're just not going to get the technology and the hand-holding, the personal stuff, because it costs us money to have the team help you with that kind of stuff. So whatever you want to do, wherever you want to fit in, that's the offer for December. I'm probably going to be I'm not traveling this year. I'm going to be in town, so I'm going to be committed to knocking all this training out for December and starting us up on January. 2016 is going to be a great year. So I'm going to end the call now. Those of you who are online, if you have any Q&A or if you have something to say, love to have you chime in. Before we close out, Tom, you can join in if you had something you wanted to add. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
You can.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I just want to, because you were talking about Facebook profile. That you could have different profiles. What I actually have find out that best for me is actually to close out people that can send me a friend request on Facebook. So people can't send me a friend request anymore. The only thing they can is follow me, and when they do that, I will get a notification, and then I send them a personal message that they can also follow me on my fan page. If they have an Instagram account, they can go there, and also they can visit my own blog.
That's a good
Because
tip.
yeah, but because when I have so much people from all around the world as my friend, I'm getting a lot of distractions on my Facebook wall and notifications all day long.
That's a good tip. I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to do that tonight because I got my one account. It's completely maxed out, and I have to hire somebody just to manage all of my friend requests.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that I just go in and once a month she'll look at 900 or 1,000 brand new friend requests. It'd be so much smarter to do what you're doing. So I appreciate that tip.
Yeah, and also when I was chatting with one guy today and was connecting, I actually just opened my possibility to add me as a friend just for him, and I was closing it straight away after, and he was feeling a little bit special because I was opening my friend list to him.
That's really good.
Yeah. So then you have a little higher connection.
That's good. They do feel special when you have 5,000 followers and you let them in.
Yeah, but I only have 700, almost. I only have 800 friends.